What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this one, we're actually going to talk about the most recent trip that I did, which was to India. Now, this was a very, very exciting trip because one of my cousins happened to get married, and it was just so spectacular and special because I did happen to miss my older guy cousin as well as this cousin's older sister's weddings. And so there's been quite a bit of a gap since the last time I was there. And the last time I actually went to India was 2 years ago after my own wedding. So this was a very, very exciting trip. And it was a chance not only to see my cousin and her beautiful wedding and her wonderful fiance and their family, but it was also a chance to meet all of my own cousins and see all of my family members as well. Now, in particular, my family, we're a little bit crazy in the sense that we are extremely close, not only close in sense of my parents' immediate siblings and their parents, but also all of the extended family. So this was actually for my second cousin's wedding in India. And believe it or not, I have not seen them in years. I did get to see her 2 years ago at my wedding reception, which we did in India. However, prior to that, it had been almost 10 years since I got to see them. I had yet to meet my cousin's wife and his daughter, as well as it being the first time that I got a chance to actually spend time with my cousin that was getting married, her older sister, and her husband of 5 years now. So it was a wonderful, wonderful time. I did also have the lucky benefit of being able to travel business class. We got amazing deals. And I just want to tell you guys that if you're looking to travel internationally and you can't handle economy and it's just too much on your body or your back or whatever it may be, travel credit cards are your friends. Now, this is not to say go spend needless amounts of money, but there are many cards that offer promotions, which allows you to receive multiple points. And there's also a lot of different ways to get money back on purchases that you make for day-to-day things. So for us, we did end up getting a travel credit card, and that is how I was actually able to fund this trip. So I just thought it would be fun to capture important moments from that experience, both so people can see a little bit of what a colorful Indian wedding looks like and areas of India that I visited, as well as come with me on this little journey, if you will. My name is Jaya. I put out videos every Wednesday and Sunday. My primary focus is usually books, so I don't do too much of the travel vlogging or anything along those lines. But if you are interested in sticking around and seeing what India looked like this time around, definitely continue watching. Each segment is broken up. So this first segment is actually the leg of travel that took me to India, with the first phase being the business class flight. So I hope you enjoy.
அடிராக்கம்மா கையத் தட்டு, புது ராகத்தில் விட்டு கட்டு, அடிராக்கோழி மேளங்கொட்டு, இந்த ராசாவின் நெஞ்சத் தொட்டு, ராசாவே பந்தல் நட்டு, புது ரோசா பூ மாலை கட்டு, அது ராசாத்தி தோளில் விட்டு, தினம் ராவெல்லாம் தாளம் கட்டு. கட்டுக்காவல் இது ஒத்துக்காது, இத கட்டி போட ஒரு சூரன் ஏது. ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சடக்கு ஜக்கு ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சாம், ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சடக்கு ஜக்கு ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சாம், ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சடக்கு ஜக்கு ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சாம், ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சடக்கு ஜக்கு ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சாம். அடி ராக்கம்மா கையத் தட்டு, புது ராகத்தில் மெட்டுக்கட்டு, பந்தல் நட்டு, புது ரோசா பூ மாலை கட்டு. செக்குனாலும் தெப்பம் விடுனாலும் மச்சான் இங்கே அது ஏன் கூறு
அடவொரு சனம் யாவும் ஒத்துமைய சேரும் வம்பும் தும்பும் இல்லை நீ பாரு
மத்தள சத்தம் எட்டு ஊருதான் எட்டணம் தம்பி அடி ஜோராக வக்கிரவானோ அந்த வாழையே தக்கணும் தம்பி விடு நேராக அடம்பட்டா தாரதா தட்டிப்பாடு முத்தம்மா முத்தம் சிந்து பனிமுத்து போல் நித்தம் வந்து
மாமா நீ ஜல்லிக்கட்டு இங்கு மேயாதே துள்ளிக்கிட்டு
அடி பக்கம் நீதான் ஒரு வைக்க போரு உன கொஞ்சம் மேஞ்ச என்ன அக்க போரு
ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சடக்கு ஜக்கு ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சாவ் ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சடக்கு ஜக்கு ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சாவ் ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சடக்கு ஜக்கு ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சாவ் ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சடக்கு ஜக்கு ஜாங்கு ஜக்கு சாவ்
அடி ராக்கம்மா கைய தட்டு புது ராகத்தில் மெட்டு கட்டு
அட மாமா நீ ஜல்லிக்கட்டு இங்கு மேயாதே துள்ளிக்கிட்டு
வாசலுக்கு வாசல் வண்ண வண்ணமாக இங்கே அங்கே ஒளி விளக்கேத்து
அட பத்திரிட்டு போச்சு பட்ட பகலாச்சு எங்கும் இன்பம் எழும் பூ பூத்து
நல்லவர்க்கெல்லாம் எதிர்காலமே நம்பிக்கை வைத்தால் வந்து சேராதா உள்ளங்கள் எல்லாம் ஒன்று கூடினால் உள்ளங்கையில் தான் வெற்றி வாராதா அட இன்றைக்கும் என்றைக்கும் நல்ல நாள்தான் கண்ணம்மா கண்ணன் தொட்டு சுகங்காட்டம்மா சின்னம் விட்டு
பூமாலா வச்சு புட்டு புது பாட்டெல்லாம் வெளுத்து கட்டு
உதித்த புருவமும் கோவைச் செவ்வாயில் குமிச்சிருக்கும் பனித்த சடையும் பவளம் போல் மேனியில் பால் வெந்நீரும் இனித்தமுடன் எடுத்த பொற்பாதமும் காண பெற்றார் மனித பிறவியும் வேண்டுவதே இம்மாநிலத்தே மனித பிறவியும் வேண்டுவதே இம்மாநிலத்தே
அடி ராக்கம்மா கைய தட்டு புது ராகத்தில் விட்டு கட்டு
So I hope you guys enjoyed the little tour of the cabin, the food, the little treats that we received on the longer leg of the flight. This next stage is actually after I got to my secondary destination. So just so you know, I did a very, very long, ridiculous trip because that was the cheapest I could find. And I did go for cheap tickets so that I could travel business this year because I knew I had to come back and jump straight back into work. So in order to accommodate for that, I did take a longer layover. So my flight plan was basically from where I live to Doha and then from Doha to Muscat and Muscat to Chennai. So lots and lots of layovers. My layover in Muscat was actually almost 8 hours long and I was exhausted to say the least, but I did include some footage of the various travel lounges. So if that's something that you guys enjoy, then definitely check this out. also particularly nice because this particular travel lounge, which was available in Muscat, actually had sleeping rooms that you could rent out as well. So outside of the lounge itself being beautiful, Wi-Fi, food, AC, everything being provided there, they also had rooms that you could rent and sleep in, which was so cool. From there, I basically hopped onto a couple of shorter flights taking me to Chennai. So Muscat to Chennai is about 3.5 hours, and then Doha to Muscat is about an hour. And the interesting thing is with business class, you still get fed. So here's another image of the food I got on the plane. After that, I finally made it to Chennai and we were able to get started on some of the fun festivities. So I have a little bit of footage of the roof, the terrace basically. So in India, you can actually go up on the roofs on the terrace and it's flat surfaces and you can actually see the cityscapes and everything, which was beautiful. And I got to spend some time with the lovely bride, and I'll insert a picture of her here as well. And some of the smaller functions that we did at home before going to the main venue. So the function that you just saw videos of is what we call the Samaradhana, which is basically a prayer to God, invoking his presence and our ancestors' presence in our wedding. We also request blessings from our elders, and it's basically the starting of the function. These are two separate functions that are done, one at the bride's side and one at the groom's side. And then from there, we had a fun evening where we basically got together and did the henna. So I'll have some footage of the Mehndi hall and the henna here.
పొలం గట్టు దుమ్ములోన పోట్ల గిత్త దూకినట్టు పొలేరమ్మ జాతరలో పోతరాజు ఊగినట్టు కిర్రు చెప్పులేసుకొని కర్ర సాము చేసినట్టు మర్రి సొట్టు నీడలోన కుర్ర గుంపు కూడినట్టు ఎర్ర జొన్న రొట్టెలోన మిరప దొక్కు కలిపినట్టు నా పాట చూడు నా పాట చూడు నా పాట చూడు నాటు 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 వీర నాటు.
So after those two functions, we ended up going to the main hall. Now at the main hall, there were two separate locations that the functions were held at. On Saturday morning, we started with the Vradam, which is one of the most important sacred religious functions that we do in our Tamil Hindu culture. And that is basically prayers to the ancestors. Now you do this with both sets of the family. Some people do it simultaneously. Some do the husband's and the wife's sides separately. But either way, it's a very important function. It's usually smaller because it is more religious. And then from there, basically what happened was the Nichyadartham. Nichyadartham is a little bit more fun. It's basically like an engagement ceremony, the acceptance of the bride's side for the groom and the groom's side for the bride. And you have little gifts that are exchanged. It's just a fun little event that we do. So I have some footage from both of those events as well as this part of the wedding hall.
நீ அம்மு அம்மு சொல்லையில பொண்டாட்டிய பூரிக்கிற சாமே ஏ சாமே நான் சாமி சாமி சொல்ல நீ என் புருஷனான ஃபீலிங்கு தான் சாமே ஏ சாமே நீ எதிர எதிர நடக்கையில நீ எதிர எதிர நடக்கையில எழுமலையா தரிசனங்க சாமே நீ பக்கம் பக்கம் நின்னாங்க பரமேஸ்வர போல தொட சாமே நீ இல்லாம நான் போகும் பாத கல்லும் முள்ளும் குத்துதடா சாமி ஏ சாமி ஏ சாமி வாயா சாமி மன்மத சாமி மந்திர சாமி பொக்கிரி சாமி ஏ சாமி வாயா சாமி
the fun part of this is after the gifts are exchanged by both sides of the family and the scrolls are read, both the bride and the groom will actually go change into the new outfits and have all the jewelry and everything applied, which is always so much fun. So I do have an insert of both the bride and groom changed into their new outfits coming up. And just for a little bit of fun here and there, I've also added a couple of photos of myself and my cousins, as well as just family at this wedding and how festive it was. And I also have those added images in this section as well.
கல்யாணம் கச்சேரி கால் கட்டு எல்லாமே ரயிலேறி போயாச்சுடி என் வீட்டு தோட்டத்தில் ஒன்றல்ல ரெண்டல்ல.
So in India, things are also a little bit different depending on the venue and the hall availability. Sometimes they'll actually do the reception before the wedding, and we do actually do something that is kind of like a Baraat that you might have heard of before, where it's like a dance sequence before the groom actually arrives and welcoming everyone in. So I have some footage of that here for you as well. Now, what was particularly fun about this event is that my cousin and her fiance are both singers. And so, well, now my cousin and her husband are both singers, and that's actually part of their career. So they had hired a live band, and as a little surprise for all their guests, they actually ended up performing at the end of the night, which was really fun. I will preface this by saying the sound quality is not the best, and I don't know if they could hear themselves. Also, keep in mind they were singing after not sleeping for almost like a week on end, so not the best. It's not a full showcase of their talents, but we did have a blast singing and dancing with them and just having a good time. was a good time. It was really, really cute for them to add that little touch. At the end, we did also do Peter Rap, which is a all-time family classic in our family. So this next section, I'll definitely play that music in the background so you guys can kind of get the feel for what we were listening to while we was dancing. But next up is actually the wedding sequences, and I hope you enjoy it. That being said, actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to play the song for you guys so you guys know what the heck it is that I'm talking about. But this is the final song that they ended with, and this is when things went a little bit wild and crazy at the reception. And this was literally performed by my cousin. And so we just had way too much. Like, we bawled out with this song. So this is the song, guys. Let me just play it for you.
Rhythm of life.
Bob Clearmountain mixed with attitude, funky drums from hell.
Sign up at the crow, better run it, better pay the rap. Pay the rap. Pay the rap. Pay the rap.
Amma better, I'm better. I'm better, think I'm better. Amma better, think I'm better. Think I'm better, think I'm better. So there was that. Sorry, I have forgotten half the words to this song, but it was honestly a blast, and I haven't jammed out like that in a while with my cousins, so that was a really good time. And then after that, now I have the actual wedding sequences. Now in our culture, we have a few different events that occur. I did end up missing the first event, so I'll explain it. So in the first part, we have something called Akashi Yatra. This is basically when we have the groom come to the stage and he says, no, I'm not gonna get married. I'm gonna become an ascetic. Like, this is BS, I'm leaving. And then the bride's father basically tries to bribe him to stay, and the final bribe is bringing the bride to the front, and he says, oh, actually I am gonna stay and get married. So it's very, very cute. After that function is over, they basically go sit on the swing, and while they're sitting on the swing, family will sing and bless them, and they do something called Palum Paramum Taradu, which is basically fruit and milk being served to the future bride and groom. I'm getting emotional. And at this point, the most beautiful thing happens, which is that the elders in our family, the women in particular, will actually feed them and clean their feet and respect them as if it was the god and the goddess in live form. After that, we basically have a grand old time. Before this happens, before they sit on the swing, so in between the event I described where he's about to run away and the scene where they sit on the actual swing, there's another sequence where there's something called Male Matral, which basically means switching of the garlands, which almost becomes like a game. So we actually pick up the bride, we pick up the groom, and they have to like chase each other to try and get the flower garland on, and then they'll go sit together. So I have all those scenes here for you guys to see. I hope you enjoy.
കണ്ണാമൂച്ചി ഏനടാ എൻ കണ്ണാ കണ്ണാമൂച്ചി ഏനടാ എൻ കണ്ണാ நான் കണ്ണാടി പൊരുൾ പോലടാ
கண்ணாமூச்சி ஏனடா என் கண்ணா நான் கண்ணாடி பொருள் போலடா
அந்த நதியின் கரையை நான் கேட்டேன் அந்த காற்றை நிறுத்தியும் கேட்டேன்
அந்த நதியின் கரையை நான் கேட்டேன் அந்த காற்றை நிறுத்தியும் கேட்டேன்
வான்வெளியை கேட்டேன் விடையே இல்லை வான்வெளியை கேட்டேன் விடையே இல்லை இறுதியில் உன்னை கண்டேன் இருதய பூவில் கண்டேன் இறுதியில் உன்னை கண்டேன் இருதய பூவில் கண்டேன் கண்ணாமூச்சி ஏனடா
என் கண்ணா நான் கண்ணாடி பொருள் போலடா என் மனம் உனக்கொரு விளையாட்டு பொம்மையா எனக்கென உணர்ச்சிகள் தனியாக இல்லையா நெஞ்சின் அலை உறங்காது
From this point, they basically go inside, do the full function, and then after the function is basically getting closer to the conclusion. In our culture, we don't exchange rings. We actually tie a sacred thread around the neck of the bride, signifying that they are getting married, and we apply rings, toe rings to the feet. I didn't capture that on film because it's such an intimate moment and it's such a blessed moment that I was kind of fully present and didn't have my camera on me. But I did take at least one photo of my beautiful cousin in her 9-yard sari, which is a very special form of sari where you don't wear it in the classic 6-yard fashion, which is what is typically seen on the internet. But this one actually has like a much longer piece of cloth that you're tying, and it looks like a pantsuit when you wear it. So I have a picture of her sitting in this. I don't have that full outfit, but if you guys are interested in seeing what it looks like, Google 9 yards versus 6 yards South Indian wedding and you will see beautiful pictures. But let me post that picture here for you. wedding festivities. From there, we basically did a quick trip to Gujarat, which is a part of Western North India area. It's very, very, very beautiful. It's also where Modi is from. So it's a alcohol-free, clean state. It has been cleaned up from the inside out. It's beautiful now. And I also have little videos of like cows wandering free and things like that, because it's just a part of being in India, bro. Like, it's just a part of it. I didn't get any videos of the howler monkeys, which does make me a little bit sad. We didn't have howler monkeys, sorry. We had what is it called? Hanuman monkeys is what they're known as, but they're beautiful, beautiful monkeys. I didn't get footage of that, but I have footage here of basically IIM campus, which is basically where my uncle teaches, as well as video footage of one of the beautiful sites in Gujarat that's still preserved. It's a set of steps into a well, and this is historical because of the fact that it also has the, what am I going to try to say? It has architectural components to it that are Hindu in nature, Jain in nature, Mughal in nature. So it has multiple different cultures that have influenced this area, and it's since been protected. So I have footage from Gujarat here for you guys to see as well. From there, we went to the Gandhi Ashram, which is where Mahatma Gandhi stayed at one point during his fight for freedom for India. So I have some footage of that ashram location as well. One thing I did forget to shoot, which I'm sure everyone was interested in, is the food that I had in India. So here's just a quick picture of what lunch looked like when we went to Gujarat. It was all phenomenal, delicious. I think my favorite part of the IIM campus, which is where my uncle teaches, which is basically at the same level, I would say, as some of our top tier universities here in the US. It produces some of the best students in India in management, and it is a beautiful campus, but it has so much wildlife. So check out all these beautiful peacocks and birds that are just roaming around, just chilling. after that, it was time to say goodbye. So we ended up going back to Chennai, spent some time with the family, shopped a little bit. I didn't really include any of the shopping or anything in here because I didn't feel like it was too much fun to watch. But we did all that and then ended up catching the flight back home. I have some footage here overlying what Chennai looks like from the plane, so you can see just how much construction there is over there, as well as the food and the beverages that were served. I also have a quick clip of the Doha International Airport's business class lounge because I didn't get a chance to film it earlier and put it in here. So I did include that here. And then from there, we made it back home in one piece.
கப்பலேறி போயாச்சு சுத்தமான ஊராச்சு கண்ணம்மா நட்ட நாடு ராவாச்சு நட்ட வேத பூவாச்சு பொன்னம்மா பிடியும் வரையில் போராடினோம் புதிரம் மதியாய் நீராடினோம் வெக்கலெல்லாம் வாழாச்சு துக்கமெல்லாம் கூடாச்சு கண்ணம்மா கண்ணம்மா நம்ம வாசல் தேடி சாரல் வரும் நெடுவானம் தூவும் தூரல் வரும் வாழ்வில் சூழ்ந்த சோகம் யாவும் இப்ப கப்பலேறி போயாச்சு சுத்தமான ஊராச்சு கண்ணம்மா நட்ட நடு ராவாச்சு நட்ட வேத பூவாச்சு பொன்னம்மா
And that brings us to the conclusion of the India travel vlog this time around. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely leave a comment below. I can't thank you enough for coming on this magical journey with me. I had such an amazing time with all of my family and my friends and celebrating this beautiful wedding, and also getting a quick chance to go to Gujarat and see somewhere new in India and spend some time with my uncle and my grandma, which was lovely. It was really nice to see my brother and my father as well, because we're not living in the same state currently, so it was nice to catch up with them and spend some time with them. So I know this is not the usual, hey, this is what I read vibes, but I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of randomness here with this lovely India travel vlog. Now, it wouldn't be a book channel without me mentioning books, so I'm just going to mention it here. I did end up finishing the entire Stalking Jack the Ripper series by Carrie Maniscalco while I was on the planes and over like periods of quiet time. It was an excellent series. I have done a full review, which will be released after this, so definitely catch that if you guys are interested in seeing what I read and what I thought of the books. I also ended up reading a book called Here One Moment, which is the new book released by Liane Moriarty. She's the same person who wrote Big Little Lies, as well as The Husband's Secret, Nine Strangers, which have been turned into adaptations in movies. I don't know if Husband's Secret has actually been turned into a TV show or movie, but I know the other two for sure have. And they're great books. She's one of my favorite mystery thriller kind of authors. And this particular book was more along the lines of mystery being revealed, but kind of like how people handled the news. But the reason I picked this book is because it's set on an airplane, and basically it's about a woman who predicts the time and death of multiple passengers on this plane. And the book then follows these passengers after they've gotten off the plane, and whether or not their stories were affected or their history or their futures were impacted by the predictions that were made. It was a very interesting book and I think perfect for the plane ride. So that is what I ended up concluding with. That being said, like I said, had to mention books on a book channel before I can close out, but I hope you guys had a wonderful trip with me to India. I had a blast. I cannot explain how much enjoyment I had from this trip. So that being said, I hope you guys had a fun time watching this video too. All the music sequences in this are basically from Tamil film songs because I was like, okay, you know, usually I do Hindi songs or like random clips or whatever of different kind of music, but with it being a Tambram wedding, I had to put Tambram music in there. You know what I'm saying? Not Brahmin actually, it has nothing to do with Brahmin, but Tam music in there. This is all from Tollywood. So yeah, that's where the music is coming from if you guys haven't heard the music before. Hope you guys enjoyed that as well. That being said, thank you so much for being here. If it's your first time here and you enjoyed this content, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell. Do know that I don't do as many travel related videos. I typically post more videos that are related to books and fiction in general, but still love to add that little random flavor of travel in there too. And for those of you that are returning, thank you so much for being here. I know this was a long one, so if you guys made it, thank you. It means a lot to me, and I hope you enjoyed the colorful nature of an Indian wedding. Until next time, bye guys.